and welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. Happy 9th of June to you all. Let's get on with our diamond paintings. Let's see if this picks one that is not connected to another. Who knows? 23. No, we're still saying connected according to the decision app that I'm using, and we're actually going down here. So that 28 is actually pretty close to a line-ish. I'm not sure if I've even got where it originally was, but I do just want to make sure that I can still see all of the symbols in each section. And then for 22, let's see if I can line it up with further up. Hopefully I'm not out by too far, but we are working on more of a big part of the trunk, though I don't need my clips because this does just sit on the bottom of my easel. And today's pen is from Hand Turned Heaven. Now they do the full-size pens as well, but this is one of their mini ones. So I've got a little mini white one. You can still hold it the same way that I do any other pen. And yeah, it's just something a little bit different. I wanted to try a few different sites that do hand-turned pens. I have put an everlasting tip in this one, though I've just got my normal plastic straighteners because I was too tight to buy straighteners for them all because they're not cheap. So I stuck with the one. So what should we do today? Let's start in the bottom corner, and whatever symbol it is, I'm going to work all the way across, but of course doing the symbol in the whole section. So we will be starting with some glow in the dark today, because it's a big section of the white. I'm doing it all in glow in the dark. And then anywhere that I just have the odd one of a white, I'm doing that in AB. Because I don't have a lot of AB, plus I didn't know if glow in the dark that was just singles and scattered would have the same effect in the darkness as the actual solid blocks of white. So that's the reason I've chosen to with this one anyway. So let's zoom in, and then let's see what questions I have on the cards for today. So you see I do have a lot of the tree to do, a lot of the trunk, I'd probably say. A couple of little branches, but mainly the trunk of the tree. So the first question for today is, what type of light pad is your daughter looking for that's hard to find? So Megan is looking for the same light pad that I have. So I have, let's see if I can move it over, it's a Hawaiian wireless light pad. So it can charge on battery as well as being used on mains, and it's an A4 size. I got it for my birthday a year or two ago. I can't remember if it was 1 year or 2 years ago. But it's great to not have to, be near a wire or find your wire. Or at the moment, Megan uses a portable charger with hers, and it just saves her having to make sure that a portable charger is charged up to be able to use her light pad if needed. So she has been keeping an eye out for this light pad. She has even emailed the company to ask when it's likely to be back in stock. And their reply was, we don't know. So it didn't really help in her ability to be able to get hold of this light pad. But yeah, that's the one she's looking for. She's looking to treat herself to the wireless one. And I don't know of any other companies that do a wireless light pad, a battery operated one. So do let me know if any of you guys know any companies that do. So I've recently, well of course for this video, I actually filled up and made sure that my wax was fully loaded. So because I only need, I think it's only 2 of that L, I've been able to just dip into the pot and pick them up. And then the next one across then is H. So I'm working across in a line, and that is quite often how I work with big diamond paintings, unless it's the likes of a Mandy Manzano Diamond Art Club, where there tends to be a lot of, you know, outlines in black. And they're not like the outline on this one that is actually quite a few different colours. It is normally sort of a solid 310 outline. So when I'm working on one of those, I tend to I always do the black first and give myself like little pockets to do. But then I do tend to go back to whatever is in the bottom left hand corner of the section that I'm working on. And that tends to be the colour that I start with. Though quite often I will finish, you know, within that black block before I move to the next one on a Diamond Art Club. But on other paintings that don't tend to have, you know, such a defined line, rather than have to decide what colour to do, I often fall back on just choosing whatever colour is the bottom left, and I work my way from there. Occasionally I do like to mix it up. Sometimes I will work down the symbol key list, you know, starting at whatever is the first colour, and I'll work my way through that way. Sometimes if I'm not, you know, in the mood for maybe some confetti bits where they're dotted here, there and everywhere, then I will pick the colour that is the most prominent and I will go for that. But more often than not, my default is to go for the bottom left and just work my way across from there. It just seems to be what works for me. And I'm sure everybody has their own way of picking colours that works for them. Some people go for the symbol that stands out the most. That often can be a good way to pick out the symbol that stands out the most, and then you're less likely to miss some. Because it's, you know, it's more prominent, and then work your way through from there. It's all about varying it up every now and then. And if you find a way that works for you and is the best way to work for you, then stick to that way for as long as you like it. And when you find you're bored of it, then change it. That's all I can suggest with that. So Corrine has asked, what is the process that you use for making your trays? So these trays, including the one that I am working on, these are made by 3D printing. So it is a design that my hubby mainly created from an initial idea of the sort of shape of tray that I wanted. He then finessed it according to, you know, different things once it was made. So things like the spacing between the lines to make sure it worked for round and square, how high the ridges were, and things like that. He sort of based it off that. But hubby designed it, and then the 3D printer prints it, so you can get software that will convert it into something that the printer understands. And then more often than not, the 3D printer prints it perfectly. Every now and then we do have what we call a dud tray, that we're not happy with the quality or something's gone wrong in the print somewhere. But they're getting better. I don't know whether they're getting better or we're getting better at handling them. I'm not sure which one it is. Probably we're getting better at handling them and making sure that the things like the bed's level and things like that, which can affect a print. But yeah, we send them to the 3D printer. Just over 3 hours later, it will go quiet, and then we know that that batch of trays are done, and quite often it's then on to the next batch, until we decide it's bedtime for both us and the printers. But yeah, it's definitely been a sort of a learning curve, learning, how they work and how best to set them up. But it's also been fun, and it's nice to mess about and see what sort of designs you can come up with. But then there are also designs out there that people have already created for some things and share with others to print for their own use. So I do have a little memory card holder for my memory cards for my camera that fits into my IKEA pegboard that somebody had designed, actually made an extra accessory to fit in the pegboard. It's perfect. It's just great. I now know where my memory cards are. I mean, they did used to just sit in a tray, but now they sit even neater. They sit to attention and wait until they're needed. I'm just checking for any more H's, but I think we're done with H. So I'll get those back into their pot, and then we move across to the number 3. That's actually quite a big block now. Well, this little bottom block that I'm going to do. Somebody suggested, will some tape over the numbers stop them smudging on your hands? Yes. Is the short answer to that. Yes, it definitely would stop it smudging. People do use it as well to sort of, use a sticker on some of this clear cover paper and then put some clear tape over the top to help it to stay put while you're doing the painting. The only thing is, at the moment, I don't know where our clear tape is. I know where I have lots and lots of brown parcel tape, which we use for sending out orders, but not so much for the clear tape. It has got a little bit easier over the last few days. We are currently in another sort of warm spell, but it's nowhere near as warm as it has been. It's not quite at the really, really hot point. And I feel like my wax is going in this pen again already. Oh, and I forgot to mute my computer. But yeah, clear tape does work well. If you do want to use stickers on the likes of cover paper, whether it's this type of cover release paper or whether it's, the cover paper that comes on some paintings, the opaque, you can just put a little clear piece of tape over the top and it'll help your stickers stay into place if you happen to know where your tape is in your house. My guess is it's in one of the children's bedrooms. I won't mention who, but I do have a feeling it will be in their bedroom over anybody else's. But I haven't quite had the inclination to try and find it. And I don't remember to ask them at a time that I see them and it's suitable. I always forget at that point. So I'm just going to resign myself to every now and then getting black marks on my hands, unless such a time comes when the universe aligns and I remember at the same time as seeing the particular daughter that I think may have the clear tape. Okay. Next one said, so Shimmy Dancer said, I would love to see your 3D printer working if you would consider putting a short video up. I will give it a go. I'll see if the hubby can do a few time lapses, maybe one weekend. You can do a few time lapse videos of trays being created, maybe a few different colours, and we'll see if we can put a video together to sort of let you guys see how your trays get made and the layers that they form until they become a tray that we can use and love. There are many, many different layers to a tray. So yeah, I will put that on the to-do list. She also says, have you ever heard that the squares need gaps like wooden flooring to adjust to weather temperature changes? I've not heard of that. I don't know that would particularly make a difference. I have some diamond paintings where the squares fit together really, really nicely. And there's a few of those that are actually up in my home. One of them being up in the conservatory. The Ever Moment multi-panel that I did is currently up on the wall in the conservatory. And the conservatory can become the hottest room in the house, especially when the direct sunlight is shining, and it does shine on the wall that the diamond painting's on, and it's not made any difference to those diamonds. Now, I am in no way in the hottest country in the world, but I haven't seen any sort of effect that it has on the diamonds at all. I like the idea of it, and I can see where the idea has come and where the logic has come from, but I don't think diamonds, or in turn plastic, expands the same way that wood does, which is why that gap's needed in wooden floorings. Okay, can you show us how you remove the drills from the painting? Put that in the wrong place. So for this one, I have actually already removed all the drills that I need to. I have already replaced all the ABs, but I used a mixture of a pair of tweezers and my fingernails. I found that actually using my fingernails to get underneath the diamonds and sort of flick them off or pull them off with my nail was the easiest way. However, I did need to use a pair of tweezers on some that were tucked in. So if I was removing that one that I just placed, I would need a pair of tweezers because I can't get to it around it. Whereas if I was trying to remove this one, I would just catch my fingernail under it and pull it. But tweezers are normally the easiest way to get diamonds off a canvas. But it is amazing how well they can stick once they've been left for a while. So I may be able to put one down and then actually move it. If I find that it's in the wrong place, I can slide it quite quickly. However, once I've left it a day or two, or maybe even a few hours, I didn't test a few hours though. All the ones that I removed had been down for at least a day because it was, of course, different sections. And I didn't take off the 820 ABs soon after doing them. They were pretty well stuck. Some of them did not want to move. It did take quite a few goes with the tweezers. There were a couple of diamonds that did fly across the room. They did go on a little trip. but they can come off. But at the same point, it's nice to know how sturdy they are on the canvas, by the fact that, you know, they do take quite a bit to come off. It's reassuring in a slight way that, you know, they're not going to just fall off because they feel like it. Though that could be something that again is determined by weather. It may be that if in some climates you may find that diamonds are more likely to move. But I haven't particularly noticed it at the moment, even with the diamond painting that has the sun shining on it for most of the morning. There hasn't been any problems with the diamonds on that one at all. Oh, so Mops the Top said you mentioned that the pricing of bread, and she asks, a Frey bento steak and kidney pies in the tin, still 99p from Morrison's. I don't know. Let's see if I can copy that question and pop it into... Oh. Okay, let's have a look. So, it's not showing me the price. Oh, hang on, here we go. Morrison's, no, they are £1.50. So price has inflated. I've just done a quick Google search for the price. They do seem to be showing at about £1.50 in most places. So not quite the $7.50, but yeah, £1.50. So price has inflated, but I don't know how long ago it was she paid 99p for one. And it may be that they come on offer, but at the moment most places are looking to be nearer the £2 mark. But there are still places that it's £1.50. I'm sure somewhere we'll have them for 99p. It's just how long that they'll last at 99p. And she says when she visits the UK, she eats plenty of fruit and veggies by the ton, especially raspberries because they're cheaper. Oh, I didn't know that. Maybe we grow a lot of raspberries. I do like to go strawberry picking sometimes when I can find a youngster to take. It's always nice to go and pick some strawberries. There is a farm near us where you can go and pick fruit, and they have a farm shop as well. That's always yum. Makes me think I might just go and visit the farm shop just because I can. So Janet says she's really enjoying the June waffle. That's good to know. Otherwise, I've got a lot of days of talking to myself. She said, love the white tray. Would you be able to tell us what the dimensions are? So yeah, the dimensions are on the website, but let me just pull them up. They are, when you click on the tray listing, if you scroll down, you do get more information about them, including the sizing. But the trays are 16.4 centimetres by 8.3 centimetres in total. So this part is 8.3 centimetres and the longer part is 16.4 centimetres. And then she asks, do you have a favourite brand of coffee? And what type of coffee maker do you use? I use an espresso machine and I love a lot. I don't particularly have a favourite brand of coffee. I like to mix it up. So when I do order from Nespresso directly, I tend to go for anything that is like flavour strength 6, I think, through to 10, or is it 4? 4 through to 9 or 10. Have I really been chatting for that long? Yeah, anything that's through, normally from a 4 up to a 10, normally staying around the 6 or the 8 mainly. And when I get the capsules from there, I tend to then open up pretty much all of them, or like 1 tube of each, because I tend to buy a few tubes. So I'll open 1 tube of each and I mix them all up, and then I put those into my little sort of coffee caddy near my coffee machine, because then every cup of coffee that I have can taste a little bit different. I do like their India range. I'm not even sure if they're still doing it, but they had an India range and I really liked that one. So it was quite nice when that one sort of became the brew that I had. But yeah, all of them were nice. They were just different kinds of nice. I do also get the Aldi version of the Nespresso pods, because Aldi is round the corner and it is cheaper than the Nespresso brand itself, and they are still nice. There's a couple of ones that they do, and I tend to mix all of those up together as well. But I do really like it when I treat myself to the real Nespresso and have a full box of variety. There is a store near us, but an Nespresso store, but it's more about half an hour away from us. Whereas Aldi I could walk to in 5 minutes. And I do go through a fair amount of coffee. I do tend to drink it as lattes. So I do milk and then a shot of espresso. And yeah, I probably drink far too much of the stuff, but I enjoy it. So at the moment, it's not affecting my health that I know of, so I will continue. So Zoe says, thank you for all the work you put into your videos and your website and your shop. Thank you, Zoe. She does say, can you consider doing royal blue diamond painting trays? I will put that on the wish list. I've got loads of colours now going around in my head. It's a pity the 3D printers can't print a little bit quicker so that I can get them all done. But I will definitely put it on the list. I will go through all the colours that people ask for before I go for any, that I just see and decide to pick up. Though we do have a couple of colours in-house already that we'll be doing first. So Robin says, your videos come up at 1 AM the next day in Australia, and she waits till 1 AM. But she's a night owl, love it. And that is in Victoria as well. Yeah, my mum is in Victoria. She watches them in the morning. She always puts a video on in the morning. She doesn't tend to go on Facebook, so she's not in the Facebook group. So just before the June waffle came out, when I took a couple of days where I didn't put up a video, she did end up phoning me up and said, why is there no video? I was like, yes, I forget, you're not in the Facebook group. I've taken a couple of days off. And she was like, okay, as long as everything's okay. But yeah, she didn't get her morning video. So I do apologise to anybody that wasn't aware that just before in June I did take a couple of days where I didn't have videos, just knowing that I would be about to spend a lot of time doing this June waffle. It does mean that I need to do a video every single day, regardless of whether it's a work day or not. It needs to be done. Regina has just said, are you going to try doing the 3D printed tips for the pens? Oh, I've not seen those. I'm not sure whether that's on the cards at the moment. It's definitely something that I'm happy to look into. I'm guessing that that's something that somebody has designed. So if somebody does the design themselves, even if they make it available for other people, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's available for somebody else to make and sell. I'm not quite sure whether our 3D printing skills are up to getting an exact pen tip, but then again, I don't know what the pen tips look like. So it'll be something that now I know about it, I will probably go and have a little bit of a nosy. But at the moment, the printers have got their work cut out for them. They don't tend to get a day off unless they break and we don't have time to fix them. Apart from that, they don't really get a rest. There are a few different things that we'd love to be able to do and love to be able to make on the 3D printer. I just don't think they're going to be something that we're going to be able to explore super quick. I think it's going to be more of a well in the future type thing once we have built a very, very good stock of trays that we already do. Oh, she also says that she's in the process of setting up her spare drill storage. She said it's not as pretty, but she can find the ones she needs. Well, that is the main thing. As long as you can find the ones you need, that's the main thing in regards to spare drills. If you do decide that you want to save your spare drills, of course, then yeah, the idea is that you need to be able to find them, and you can always choose to make them pretty afterwards. Or some people, you know, depending on your best way of working, prefer to make it pretty first. And then that will make them save them and put them away. But yeah, I am sure it is perfect for what you need. Oh, somebody says they watch quite a bit of YouTube and that I don't have as many ads in comparison to others. Yes, that is one thing that I do always try to keep to a fair amount, or what I believe is a fair amount. I don't like myself watching a 10-minute YouTube video and having 3 adverts. I try and keep it to an advert at the beginning and at the end, and the end is more, you know, sometimes people are busy doing other stuff, diamond painting maybe, and they might put a video on and they might not quite have chance to change what video they're watching because they're busy doing something, you know, and they just want to finish that colour or they just want to finish that row. And if that's the case, my advert at the end, one, might keep them entertained and still give them something to listen to, but second, it can help me out a little. But I completely get that most people will have potentially turned the video off or gone to another video by then. But I do try not to put adverts in any video that is less than 10 minutes or even 10 minutes. Doesn't tend to have one. Often there's sometimes 20-minute videos that won't. A lot of it depends on what it is. On these whip and chats, tends to be every 10 to 12 minutes that I'll go for an advert, but I do try to keep it as low as possible while still being able to bring in, you know, some form of income, which helps me to buy all the weird and wonderful things that I may not necessarily buy for projects and for plans that I have for the channel, and things I want to be able to show you guys, and things I want to be able to do. A bit like my custom paintings. You know, there was quite a bit of money that was put into those. Even my Alice in Wonderland, where I did a video on, you know, different sizes, and I got from a small one up to a big one. I think all 5 of those diamond paintings must have cost close to £100, and they're not ones that I've ever purchased for putting up in 5 different rooms in my house, for example. So it's things like that that the YouTube helps to go for. For YouTubey things. Stacey does ask, if you can and have the time, it would be great for you to do a live for the last square. I'm not sure on the live. I definitely can't promise that one at all. Hubby does keep saying to me, you know, you should do a live video. There's a couple of reasons that I haven't and that I don't tend to. One is it can be something, a live video can be something that attracts spammers and bots and things like that. So it would involve making sure that there is somebody else there to deal with that while I'm doing a live. Also, I do kind of feel sometimes that lives, unless you are watching them live, that you can get a bit lost and you don't know what questions being answered and who said what and what the person's responding to. I feel as though it would be a lot slower, and I would have to be watching the screen, and there would be a lot of hellos and stuff, which may not work as well for people that can't watch it at the same time. It's not a never, but I think it's not something that I'm thinking of yet. I'll never say never, but it's not got a huge appeal to me at the moment for those reasons, really. It's the maintenance for somebody to be able to watch YouTube. At the moment I film on my camera, which is above me. I would have to probably film on my phone, which means I wouldn't be able to zoom in the same, and I wouldn't be able to, at the moment I can just look up and check that I'm still in frame. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was doing a live. And yeah, I'd have to tie somebody down for at least an hour while it was done. So it's not as logistically easy to do, or as easy as it can be, as my normal filming is. I can just take myself off and disappear and get the video done. But oh, so Dana says, I love your trays. Dana or Dana, sorry, I'm not sure which way you pronounce it. And she's beginning to use the spare drill system as well. That's awesome. I love it when people let me know, you know, things that they find helps them. It keeps me motivated to keep going and keep waffling about the little things that can help people. And the big things. You know, my spare drill storage definitely wasn't something that was small, but it is nice to know that it works for other people as well, because it is something that I'm really happy with. You know, there are things that you can do, or things that you can set up for yourself that you're like, yeah, that works. You know, and you're like, oh, that's good. And then there are things that you can set up, you know, wherever it may be, in your home, in your life, in your work. There are things that you can, you know, do something to make your life easier, and that, you know, works as a storage system for you, whether it be in your kitchen pantry or whether it just be how you organise your files on your computer. down to how you organise your spare diamonds. And I really like it when I find a system in whatever area it may be that just works perfect. Just ticks every box that you want it to tick and does exactly what you want it to do. And that is what that spare storage system did for me. So it is really nice to know that it's done the same for other people. And the making it pretty came later. And to me, that's just made the whole system even better. Because I love it when things are pretty. So, Kareen, I'm trying to dip into the pot and just get these 2 diamonds, but the wax in this pen does not want to play the game. I'm using the blue wax. I wonder if that's why. Maybe I should go back to using the pink wax until I have chance to actually use the glue dots. I am going to give them a go. That will come up in the future. In fact, I need to order myself some small ones. I wouldn't mind. I've been near Hobbycraft today and I probably could have just walked in and picked some up. I might be nipping over that way again soon. Must remember, put on a to-do list, pick up glue dots. So Kareen says she does like the choice of the AB diamonds in the tree and the dark drills on the background. Thank you. It's good to know that I am not the only one. You know, there are people that love a lot of sparkle, and I say go for what you enjoy. But I think I wasn't sure when I was placing the ABs in the background, the 820s, when we did section 1. I wasn't major pleased with them when I was placing them, but I also wanted to make sure that I had given it, you know, a full go before I made the decision, because sometimes I can think it's not going to look right, and if actually I just finished it first, it would have looked fine. But once I'd done the full section, I think I was pretty sure that it wasn't going to stay. It was just a bit too much for me. But I do love it in these in the leaves. Right, I'm going to get some more wax because it is taking twice as long to place these diamonds, and I think I might need to. I'm going to give it a go with this blue wax again. If not, I'm just going to change to the pink. I actually can't quite tell if it's even going in the pen. So thank you, Kareen. Oh, Susan likes the changes as well. Yes, the dark ABs do make a difference. They do. So Tracy says she's in Australia and she's following my numbers. She picked a number for the first day and she's been following the days as they arrive since then. So yeah, I do post on the Facebook group now the night before. So basically, I'm filming this video for the 9th of June on the evening of the 8th of June. And the reason for that is when the video tomorrow day, I am working. So quite often, if I have a whip and chat that's each day, I will film it the night before and then get it all ready so that the video can go up while I'm at work. And what I started to do and what I realised is that for Australians, by the time my video goes up at 4 o'clock, as a comment said earlier, it's 1 o'clock in the morning for them. But it's 1 o'clock in the morning the next day. So when this video goes up at 4 p.m. UK time, or British summertime at the moment, it is 1 a.m. in Australia, and it won't be the 9th anymore, it will be the 10th. So what I now do is I now put a post up on the Facebook group. I mean, I was putting a post anyway for everybody to post their, progression each day. It's a place where we can all share how their diamond paintings are going and how each day is working on without it being the only posts on the Facebook group. They're all contained to one. I put that post up the night before, and I make sure that I put the number that the decision maker app has decided, so that those in Australia can do it in their own daytime if they want to. It also means that people in other countries, including the UK, if somebody knows that they are not going to be able to have time to diamond paint that evening, whatever other commitments they've got, but they have a bit of time in the morning, they can still join in. Because I want this to work for as many people as possible. And I want as many people as want to be able to join in. So I've started putting that up, which hopefully will help people. But I didn't on the first. Sorry about that. I didn't think about it that soon. Ellen, she asked, can you supply the info for the containers you're using? So the containers were gifted to me by a subscriber. If you go to my website, which is 4kids@147.com, there is a tab across the top that is called Our Favourites, and in there is a storage section as well, and there is a link to these containers that were bought for me. It is on the Canadian Amazon because the lovely lady that bought them me does live in Canada. But it will give you the information if you do need to be able to search your own country's Amazon or maybe AliExpress. It will give you some details of the containers so that you know what you're looking for. I hope that helps. I think there is also some comments and potentially links on my kitting up video for this June waffle. There were some people that were giving suggestions on where you could find them in different countries. So also go back and have a look at the comments on that video. That might help you too. Or anybody else that wants them. Okay, last colour. We're going in with X. Last colour, and let's go for last question for today. So this question is from Jill. Enjoying your videos. I live in the UK. Hello other UK people. She would like to order diamond paintings from companies in the US and Australia, but is shipping tax very expensive? It makes her hesitate, which is a shame because there's some beautiful canvases. Have you any tips from buying abroad? Shipping can be expensive buying from abroad. A lot will depend on whether the company has like a minimum spend limit or where if you spend over a certain amount, shipping is free. Some companies do offer that. But shipping is expensive in a lot of places at the moment. I don't know how China seems to ship things out so cheaply, to be honest. But shipping is expensive anywhere. I think you sort of do have to bite the bullet to a certain extent sometimes to get, to in effect treat yourself to a painting that you want, and realise that most, if not all companies, they're not charging the shipping, they're charging because they want to make money off it. They're charging it because that's what it costs. And I tend to just factor the whole price in. So most companies now will also, for UK people, if you're purchasing from outside the UK, it will add VAT onto that, which is a plus and a minus for us in the UK. So the companies that add that is something they have to do now the UK isn't part of the EU. And the likes of the bigger companies, like, for example, Diamond Art Club, that tend to ship via courier, I much prefer paying the VAT when I purchase the diamond painting, because otherwise I would get charged the VAT when it came into the country, plus £8 to £15 fee for the company that was charging me the VAT, i.e. the shipping company. And therefore, you know, they'd get a little bit more for basically taking the VAT off me and passing it to the government, which I get why, you know, shipping companies need to do it, but I would much prefer to say, hang on, take my VAT money and don't charge me when it comes into the country. So that's a big plus. However, there are some minuses in the fact that sometimes, depending on what company it was from and depending on where it was coming from, it wouldn't get stopped and you wouldn't get charged VAT and it would just arrive. So there are pluses and minuses to us UK, but if there are paintings that you really like, have a look, you know, add things to your cart, check what difference it makes to the postage. If it is somewhere that you're purchasing from the States use coupons a lot. Coupons and offer codes is a very big thing in the States, and more often than not you will find some sort of coupon code for a website, even if it's just for signing up to their email list. Quite often they will give you a coupon, so use those as well. If you've got any friends that do diamond painting, maybe see if they want to go in on an order with you, and then you're splitting the shipping between two people rather than it just being for you. But yeah, that I don't really have any more tips apart from checking out for coupons, but just bear in mind that they're not doing it because they want to, they're doing it because shipping is that expensive. So they sort of have to. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't still be in business. And that question took longer to answer than I thought it would. So I did finish that section off there. Looks like we're, apart from square one, we are all connected so far. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. It's given me a different look to the picture anyway. And I'm sure others that are doing a painting that might be a different orientation might be getting them all split up. It'll be fun to go through the posts and see how everybody else's pictures are starting to look. But thank you so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again tomorrow.